The first thing you would need to understand, or you would need a measurement for, is the general understanding of, okay, what portion of my sales is actually marketing effective and what portion of my sales can't be affected by marketing because it's due to natural demand, seasonality, or even existing customers who need to come back to your product because they have a natural demand on getting them. So by running a marketing mix model, you will get a good understanding of the so-called baseline, which is the marketing unaffected sales, and the incremental sales your marketing basically drives. And the beauty in an MMM is that you can include many different channels from offline to online. It's not only limited to one type of channels, and it will give you a really good understanding of where your ad budget really has an impact. To give it a little bit more, I would say, a sense of reality, what we see quite often is that there are MMMs being used where you can actually include so-called priors, which are basically like giving already like expectations or recommendations to the model and telling the model, hey, we've seen in the past that this specific channel, for example, is like super highly incremental. And that can be done by running incrementality tests, which is another great methodology to really understand the incrementality of a channel, because by running geo experiment, you will get an outcome or a good understanding of how incremental are your sub-channels or marketing ads in specific regions in comparison to regions where your marketing is not running at the moment. And without a doubt, I would say this measurement methodology comes as close to reality as possible. I would always recommend to choose an MMM which can digest this information and which can incorporate it into its decision making. But I think what we touched upon already is that this use case is specifically very great for budget allocation because it's operating on a very high level. It operates on channel or maybe sub-channel level. But what if you have the use case of a campaign manager, which really needs to dig deep into the campaign performance because budget needs to be allocated and budget needs to be assigned to different campaigns and not only to channels? Then your use case is completely different. We all know that measuring customer journeys is not a reliable methodology anymore to really give a very good input to the attribution algorithms. Hence, we still need to rely on touchpoint measurement as long as it's possible to really mirror this granularity, which is needed for many campaign managers on the day-to-day base. But again, I think we need to move away from the very classic attribution approach to an adjusted attribution approach, where we calibrate classic attribution models with like reality data, so to say, which again comes from incrementality tests, right? Because we're running them on sub-channel level. Hence, we have a really good understanding that campaigns which are grouped beneath one sub-channel are probably highly incremental or less incremental. And giving this information back to an MTA will help the algorithm to understand way better what kind of touch point is actually worth its money, so to say. And hence we really need to understand there's no such thing as the perfect methodology, measurement methodology for all use cases out there. It's rather that we have specific use cases with specific needs. Hence, we need to have specific methodologies behind, which needs to be calibrated by a reality marker, which is incrementality testing, basically, or geo-lift testing.